Hello, this is Sachin Sawant, UK immigration lawyer. Today I'm going to talk about the options that are available for EU, European companies, corporates, EA companies uh, to expand in the UK. So, the previous options or the easier options, which are the ones you can send employees or subcontractors, etc., on business visitor visa. That is a normal one that we do advise till now. But if you want to go in full fledged, so these are the short term routes where you don't want any permanent establishments or anything like that. You want to send your employees or subcontractors employees, etc., to set up plants, etc., etc., set up greenhouses, anything like that, set up lifts, any machinery, any plant, give any services, any advice for brief periods of time. So usually it is business visitor visa, which is the one that we always advise on. We do advise many EU businesses on the visitor areas. It's slightly tricky. There is a very slight margin between working in the UK and being a visitor in the UK, so just be careful when you're sending any workers on the visitor area. Second option is the frontier worker. This is it's slowly dissipating. It's going out of normal use because this only applies to individuals who were working for EU businesses, but they were constantly going in and out of the UK before Brexit, before 31st December 2020, before the end of transition period, 31st December 2020. So frontier worker would be someone who is working for a EU business outside the UK. They are a European national and they have been coming in the UK and going out back to the EU country or countries, and were visiting the UK at least once in 6 months or once in a year, something like that, or however frequently they would. But they were not resident in the UK. That was the one. So these are the two main areas that businesses are still exploring. They are sending. We do advise on the frontier workers also. If you have an employee who has been already having a working pattern of entering the UK, we may assess and we may tell you, yes, maybe apply for a frontier worker permit, and if that is not possible, maybe a business visitor. So these are the short term areas, temporary, coming and going. On the other side, if EU businesses want to expand in the UK, this would be the goal now after Brexit. Expanding, setting up shop in the UK. It can be your sales entity, it can be your production entity, it can be any entity. So EU companies, you want to expand in the UK, the first and the preferred one, which we do work on, is the expansion worker, where you can send initially one employee and subsequently three more. And there is a detailed video on expansion worker. If you if you go on our YouTube channel and search for expansion worker, that video should come up. It explains you all the immigration rules, etc. But briefly, you can send someone to the UK, or at least up to 4 people, uh, and the license is given up to 2 years, and then it can be in upgraded to a sponsor license, to a skilled worker sponsor license. This is also a sponsor license, this is also a sponsor license. But yeah, it's quite straightforward. So we have done it for several businesses, yeah, for the expansion also. And for the sponsor license, yes, this is a very common one that is used by UK businesses also. So you apply for the expansion worker, then you get the sponsor license for the skilled worker visa. You can hire local talent from the UK. You can send your own employees. Once you get this license, you can also get the intra company transfer, which was the previous name, and now it is called as GBM, Global Business Mobility Senior Specialist Worker, under which you can send employees to the UK. One of the challenges that I've seen is EU many EU employees or many EU employers say that the workers that they want to send do not speak English or cannot pass an English test. This is quite a challenge I've always seen. So one of the easiest routes under that is the GBM, Senior Specialist Worker category, under which you don't need the English test pass certificate. These areas you will need English language. Uh, so briefly, this is what I wanted to cover. Yes, EU businesses, the simple options would be the frontier worker or the business visitor. Many EU businesses are using that. Yes, we do advise on these. Business visitor is the most common one. Then expansion in the UK, expansion worker, sponsor license, or skilled worker. So you come into this, then you move on to the skilled worker, and The third option is if you don't want to set up any entities, or you just want to set up a branch office or something like that, you can also have only the GBM license, send someone from outside UK to this entity and then work for this entity. They don't need no English language over here. So this is the one, no English language. So you don't need the English language test certificate, you don't need for a business visitor, you don't need for a frontier visitor. So these are the three on this side. They don't need the English language certificate. These ones would require you, and that is what I wanted to cover in this video. If you do want advice on your specific business, your expansion plans, you want to send some employees, 1 employee, 10 employees, or whatever the number is, do book a consultation with us. Links will be down below, and we do advise on these matters. We can plan your expansion, etc., and we can advise you on how to go about it, because we have also seen businesses make mistakes. Their visitors are returned. I have had consultations several times where they send employees or whatever they call it, subcontractors, and finally they are returned back because they are not genuine visitors in the definition of immigration rules in the UK. Immigration officers don't agree with them, and all the problems happen. So it's always better to take advice from us before you send employees, before you plan anything, and then act accordingly. And thank you very much for watching this video. If you do like this video, give it a thumbs up, click on the bell notifications icon, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and follow us on various social platforms, TikTok, Facebook, etc. And for your specific case, do book a consultation with us. Thank you very much.